Most brands are losing 70% of their cart revenue because they don't know how to properly set up the abandoned cart flow in Klaviyo, or they don't have one at all. My name is Max and I run Skyro Digital, an email and SMS agency for D2C brands. We manage over 40 clients, we've run thousands of A/B tests, and our abandoned cart flows consistently recover 30 to 40% of lost sales on autopilot. In this video here, I'm walking you through the exact setup that we use, all the filters, the triggers, and the actual email sequence, offers that convert, and where to put those offers in the flow. Basically, just the step-by-step process of what works the best in the abandoned cart flow. So let's get into it. All right, so as you can see right here, these are some of the results that we get for our clients with the abandoned cart flow. And as you can see, they're recovering a ton of people who otherwise would have abandoned their cart, and they're making a lot of money from these flows. So over the course of the rest of this video here, I'm gonna show you exactly what we did to get these numbers and how you could apply it to your brand as well. All right, here's how to set up the abandoned cart flow. So essentially what we're gonna do here, go to flows, go to create flow. All right, now we're gonna look for cart. Now, what most people do is they set up this checkout. What most people do is they make this abandoned checkout. So these are two different flows. So there's the cart abandonment and the checkout abandonment. So here's how to set up the cart. So just search for cart, abandoned cart reminder. Go here and use template. When someone added to cart, all right, so filters, allow re-entry after a certain time period, that's fine, so 7 days is okay. Checkout started 0 times, place order 0 times, like these are both correct. So how it has it set up here, the SMS and the email, this is actually incorrect. So here, let's actually just remove the SMS from this example, so delete the yes path. All right, so if we're just setting up the straight email flow, this is how you do it. So abandoned cart or added to cart. Now, time delay, you're gonna make this shorter, 30 minutes, let's just say. Whoops. So, yeah, that's how you set it up. And then also you're gonna want more emails here. So you're gonna want at least 4 emails in this flow. But yeah, so that's how you set up the abandoned cart. All right, now setting up the abandoned checkout. Yeah, you're just gonna go to create flow, go to checkout. So same thing here, abandoned checkout reminder, set this up. And same thing here. So let's remove the SMS for the sake of this example here. All right, and then yeah, definitely want to decrease the time delay here to 30 minutes. Let's just say it's a good starting point. And then yeah, so this is the abandoned checkouts. Main thing is the trigger is checkout started, and profile filters, place order 0 times. So starting this flow, that's correct. So essentially there are 2 different flows. There's 2 different stages when somebody adds their product to their cart versus when somebody starts a checkout. The reason why it's important to have 2 separate flows is because the CTA link is going to be different. That's when you're sending them to the abandoned checkout. With the cart flow, you're sending them to the cart page, and the dynamic product block is going to be different. Yeah, that's how you set those up. Real quick, before we get into the email sequence, if you want my team to build this entire system for you, the first link in the description books a quick call. So we only work with D2C brands already doing over 50K a month on Shopify. So if that's you, click the link. All right, so here's the overall strategy for the abandoned cart and checkout flows. So email 1 on both flows is gonna be a reminder, so no discount. Number 2 is gonna be a small offer. Number 3 is gonna be a big offer. And then number 4 is gonna be the same big offer plus urgency. All right, so essentially what we're doing is we're incrementally increasing the offer the further they get into the flow, with the purpose of converting them at their maximum possible price. If they buy at any point in the flow, then they're removed from the flow and then they go into the post-purchase flow, which is separate. Now, here's each email in depth. Email 1, you're gonna have a 30 to 60 minute time delay after they started checkout or abandoned their cart. No discount here, just a reminder, like we said, there's 5 core elements: hero image, header, dynamic product block, the actual products in their cart, and the CTA button linking to, your cart page. So typically that's gonna be yourdomain.com/checkout or /cart. That's sort of the default, but it depends on the brand. Below the CTA button, you're gonna have social proof, either in the form of customer reviews, customer UGC, or press mentions such as featured in Vogue, etc. And that's email 1. Email 2, the time delay after email 1 is going to be 24 hours minus the email 1 delay. So if email 1 fires after 30 minutes, this is going to be 23 hours and 30 minutes before email 2 is sent after email 1. This one contains a small discount, so for the purpose of this example, is going to be 10% off or free shipping. Basically just something to give customers who aren't ready to buy at full price or are unwilling to buy at full price, making them feel like they get some sort of a special deal. And then the rest of the structure is going to be pretty similar. You want to include customer reviews, shipping information, risk reversal if you have any, underneath the CTA button. CTA should link to the same one as email 1. You could play around with having the discount auto apply on the CTA button as well. That's a bit more of an advanced tactic, but something to keep in mind. But other than that, that is email 2. The actual contents, you want to focus on letting them know that they have a small offer. So whether that's in the header, the body text as well, CTA, a button text. Email 3, you're going to send this 24 hours after email 2. This one's going to contain a larger discount. So for example, if you used 10% in email 2, this one you're going to have 15%. And you want to frame this as a one-time exclusive offer, only being offered to this particular customer for a limited time only. The rest of the structure is going to be the same, and in the copy and the headline should focus on highlighting the offer. So 15% off, etc. Email 4, this one's going to be 24 hours after email 3. And you're going to use the same offer in email 3, but this time you're layering in urgency. So letting them know that the offer is expiring soon. It could be 24 hours, 48 hours. We've seen best results with 24 hours. You could even use 4 hours as well. But the main thing is, focusing on the urgency of that offer, and you're going to convert the people who, like the product, want the product, they like the offer, it makes sense in their head, but there's still sort of this inertia, last minute resistance to them purchasing. And then below the CTA block, you want to, focus on the risk reversals and customer reviews, etc., like we talked about in the previous emails. One supplement brand that we work with went from 17K a month in email revenue to 43K after we rebuilt their cart and checkout flows. And all the architecture that we use to get them that result is basically everything that you're watching in this video here. All right, now what I'm showing you here is a bit more of an advanced setup for the abandoned checkout. Specifically, what we did is we set up 2 separate flows for previous purchasers and new customers. So for example, this is for previous purchasers, meaning anybody who is an existing customer who's sort of coming back. The main difference here between this one and the new customers is we completely removed any discounts. And we tested this out and we found that we were actually able to maintain the conversion rates on this flow without needing to rely on the discounts. And the reason why it's set up this way between, the split, this is actually a time delay split. We were testing 30 minutes versus 1 hour, and 30 minutes, obviously 1 in this case. So we just set this to 100% so that everybody goes down the yes path. We didn't delete this so we could retain the data. But yeah, that's why we have it set up that way. But yeah, the important thing to note is that from our usual strategy with new customers, we keep the offer because obviously we need to progressively increase the discount in order to convert non-customers into first-time customers. With this one, we found that we didn't actually need it, and on email 4, we just use sort of this non-discount scarcity, which is final reminder before your cart clears. All right, and that actually maintained a pretty high conversion rates at the end of this flow. Here's the abandoned checkout for non-purchasers. And here is the profile filters. So placed order 0 times over all times, and placed order 0 times since starting this flow. And essentially, same thing as the previous one, just on this one, we're giving them an offer on email 2, email 3, and email 4. So the purpose is why, the purpose behind that is we want to convert non-purchasers to first-time purchasers. Once they become a first-time purchaser, it's way easier to convert them at full price. Now, the biggest A/B test that we run on cart flows is the actual offer itself, free shipping versus 10% off versus a flat dollar amount. And we've seen the same flow change in terms of sales by up to 40% just by switching the offer type. So obviously it is a massive high leverage thing that you can test. And obviously you want to test the offer before you test anything else if you have time. And other variables that are high impact that you could test is going to be the time delay. So 1 hour versus 30 minutes is an easy conditional split that you could set up. 24 hours versus 18 hours on email 3, for example. Subject line and preview text. So this is an easy one. We actually have a subject line that converts way better than every other subject line that every other brand uses, but it only works for around 70% of brands, so it does depend a little bit on each brand, and that's why you gotta A/B test it. Offer type, so cashback versus, which by the way you could do cashback with certain Shopify apps, percent off versus dollar off versus free shipping versus gift with purchase. Although gift with purchase is a lot more situational because it requires certain Shopify apps to facilitate. Email structure, so testing out the hero image, social proof placement, CTA position, coupon code format, so dynamic codes versus static codes, auto applied at checkout versus copy paste, and those are sort of the main high leverage A/B tests that you can test out, besides just testing out the offer, etc. And real quick, what I'm showing you here is how to actually build the flow, but the harder question is whether the flow you've already set up is correct. And that's what the cart recovery audit does. It's 12 yes or no questions, and if you score under 7, your existing cart flow is leaking 5-figure revenue every month, assuming you're already over 100K per month in revenue. And the audit tells you the exact 3 things to fix. First, it's completely free. Get it from the link in the description. And now back to the video. Now, when you're assessing the results of your A/B test, the most important metric to gauge performance is sales, the placed order value. Secondary metrics can be the open rate and click rates, but those are important relative metrics, but really they don't really play any part in whether or not we decide a certain variation is the winner. So the rule is that sales takes precedence in all circumstances, because obviously that's what we're optimizing for. So if variation A has higher sales but lower opens or clicks than variation B, then A wins. Open rate and click rate only matters when sales are roughly equal. So here's an example from a real A/B test that we ran. So variation A has way higher place order value, 2,200, 20 orders out of 1,038 deliveries, 1.92% conversion rate. Variation B has $800 in place order value, 7 orders out of 808 deliveries, which is a 0.87% conversion rate. So A wins on both sales and conversion rate. So, I mean, this is a pretty clear-cut winner here. Variation A wins this A/B test. Now, you could also take into account the statistical significance. Klaviyo actually has a statistical significance sort of calculator built in. You could also take your numbers and Just Google a statistical significance calculator. But essentially what you're going for, depending on the amount of traffic that you're getting, is a p-value under 0.05. So basically what this means is that there's under a 5% chance that the result was a fluke, and that variation A is winning for, reasons of randomness, let's just say. For lower traffic stores, a p-value under 0.1 is acceptable. Otherwise, tests just take too long. So one of the A/B test significance calculators that I use is this VWO statistical significance calculator. You could just Google it, plug in the deliveries as visitors and place orders as conversions. And then what it'll do is it'll give you a p-value and a confidence level that your test was, actually valid and not just due to a fluke. All right, so now you have two options. So option one, if you're running a D2C brand doing over 50K a month on Shopify currently, your email's currently under 30% of your store revenue, and you want my team to install this entire retention system for you, the first link in the description books a 30-minute call. We guarantee $50,000 in new email revenue within 45 days, or you do not pay. Now, if you're not ready for that yet, the second link in the description is my free training. It tells basically everything about how I use Klaviyo to generate 30% of Shopify revenue for D2C brands, as a full 8-flow architecture, the segmentation sort of structure, the campaign calendar, deliverability checklist, and the 30-day quick win roadmap. And all this is for free. Worst case scenario is that you leave with the playbook that we use to run accounts doing $100K to $3 million plus per month. And, best case scenario is obviously you make a lot more money. So other than that, thanks so much for watching this video.